It's been interesting because since your article dropped, I gotta say, it has got all the buzz. If you are on X, if you're on Instagram, TikTok for the young kids, you know that Caitlin Clark is the Time Athlete of the Year. How has your 24 hours been since the articles dropped?
It's been awesome, and just the reaction. Obviously, people so excited not only about women's basketball, but about women's sports, and how excited and deserving, not only myself, but just women's sports as a whole.
Caitlin Clark has made history as the first WNBA player to win Time Athlete of the Year.
Cheryl, I'll start with you. What's your reaction to Caitlin Clark winning Time Magazine Athlete of the Year?
I don't think I'm surprised. I'm curious to know who the other candidates were.
Here, but not everyone is celebrating. In a surprising yet not entirely unexpected twist, Sheryl Swoopes, a four-time WNBA champion and now one of Clark's loudest critics, had strong opinions about the accolade. This video delves into the controversy, the backlash, and Clark's unexpected response, a masterclass in grace and leadership. Picture this.
And I've grown up a huge women's sports fan, whether it was basketball, whether it was soccer, whether it was volleyball, you go down the list. Like, I grew up loving it and watching it, so it's pretty special. Like, it doesn't really feel real that I get to be here, but an amazing honor.
Caitlin Clark is on top of the world, basking in the glory of her groundbreaking achievement. However, not everyone is raising a toast. Enter Sheryl Swoopes, a former
The fact that that's the very first WNBA player to ever win Time Magazine Athlete of the Year is pretty special. And my question is, like the criteria, is it based off of her performance on the court, which, yeah, she had a great year, or is it more about the impact that she had on the game this season?
NBA star turned outspoken critic on the Gills Arena podcast. Instead of congratulating Clark, Swoopes questions the criteria for the award. "I'm trying to understand what the criteria is," she says, her skepticism clear. But Swoopes doesn't stop there. She names other players she believes are more deserving, creating an awkward...
This is just probably just the impact of the sport, a little bit of it's a little bit of everything, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, no,
when you
no
think
doubt
about,
she had
you
a
just
huge
think about
impact.
athletes of this year,
Yeah.
it's her, the swimmer
What swimmer?
for Olympics,
Katie Ledecky.
her performance,
Shit, you
you know,
can put
in the
Simone
Olympics.
Biles back in there.
You can put her back in there. Probably LeBron from his Olympics.
And dramatic moment that leaves fans and analysts puzzled. This isn't the first time Swoopes has taken aim at Clark. When Clark broke the NCAA scoring record, Swoopes downplayed the accomplishment, pointing to changes in the game since the record was initially set.
Put Asia Wilson in there.
That was just basketball.
So that's what I'm saying. Was it just the performance on the court, or
It's
everything
global.
else?
Like, I think it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
She even suggested that players like Aya Wilson might be more deserving of recognition. Fans are left wondering, is this just harsh criticism, or is there's something deeper at play? As the dust settles, it becomes clear this is more than a personal gripe. Swoopes' reaction highlights a larger conflict in women's basketball, an old guard clinging to tradition versus a new star charting the future.
It just keeps putting a light on the sport for everybody else to eat. And, you know, sometimes, you know, just as athletes, you know, we are competitive by nature. And, you know, we don't like when someone's getting something that we don't think they deserved, right? When we've been in a game.
Future. Once the face of the sport, Swoopes now watches from the sidelines as Clark captures the hearts of a new generation. The shift is undeniable, and Swoopes' comments come off as bitter and out of touch. Social media erupted, with fans and fellow players taking sides in the debate. Yet, amidst the noise, Clark remains poised. while Swoopes casts doubt. Clark's record-breaking performances and growing fan base tell a different story. The contrast is stark.
Well, it's been a crazy year. It's hard to think about. Like, I was basically just starting my senior year of college at this time last year. And then I graduated. I missed my college graduation, got drafted here in New York City, basically moved right to Indianapolis, and basically start like a whole new chapter of your life instantly, and you don't really have much time to adjust. But lucky enough, I had a really great support system and family around, and I'm from the Midwest, so didn't take me too long. But this past year has just been amazing.
One icon looking back, the other pushing forward. And how does Clark respond? Not with fire, but with grace. She avoids fueling the controversy, instead choosing to rise above it all. Her response not only defines her as an athlete, but also solidifies her role as a leader in the evolution of women's basketball. Clark's actions speak louder than any words, proving that sometimes
it's fun to reflect back and think about all the amazing things that I was able to accomplish and the people that I got to do it with. I think that's what's made it so special. Is I've had my family with me the whole time, my friends, amazing teammates, amazing coaches, and it wouldn't be possible without all of them. So just really fortunate.
The best comeback is no comeback at all. Thank you for watching and turning on notifications. We truly value your time. Now, back to the action. Remember when we said Caitlin Clark was about to show us what she's made of? Her response to the Time Athlete of the Year controversy isn't just surprising, it's revolutionary. Clark is redefining leadership.
The number of Indiana Fever fans I saw in young girls and the way they were lighting up, I mean, you have represented something so special for the sport, but you've drawn eyes to a game that you've always grown up loving. What does that mean to you?
You know, it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around because I'm so focused and so competitive, and I love the game. I love playing. I love being in front of the fans. But over the course of probably the last two and a half years, it's all kind of changed where, you know, it's hard to get a ticket whether we're at home or whether we're on the road.
In women's basketball, demonstrating grace and poise in the face of criticism. While Sheryl Swoopes questions her win, Clark continues to break records.
A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then you continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing.
And capture hearts. How does she respond to the noise? Not with backlash, but by taking the high road, a move that has left everyone talking. In her Time interview, Clark
Thoughts on Caitlin Clark saying she wants to use her platform to elevate black women in the WNBA have been instrumental, obviously, in building that league to what it is. Okay.
So what's the
doesn't avoid the controversy. She addresses it head-on with maturity that's turning heads. She shows a refreshing self-awareness as she acknowledges the legends who paved the way for her, including Sheryl Swoopes herself. This isn't just.
I remember my first WNBA game, one of the best memories of my childhood, and I think very influential in wanting to be a professional basketball player, wanting to be a great person, having those people to look up to and want to be like one day. So I just try to embody that every single day, and I feel like I have good perspective on, like, basketball isn't my everything. Like, yeah, I love it, and I get to do it, and it's given me a lot of really great opportunities, but at the same time, you know, win or loss, I feel like I try to be the same person.
Sportsmanship, it's a demonstration of class and respect that sets Clark apart. Clark's response goes beyond taking the high road. It's a masterclass in turning criticism into opportunity. By defending her achievements while elevating the conversation around women's basketball, she's winning over fans and silencing critics. The contrast between Clark's uplifting approach and Swoopes' divisive comments couldn't be more striking.
Know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career.
While Swoopes questions and criticizes, Clark chooses to celebrate and uplift, a strategy that only strengthens her growing legacy. Make no mistake, Clark's kindness is not a sign of weakness.
But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, you know, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Her words are powerful, and her actions speak volumes. She's proving that building yourself up doesn't require tearing others down. By honoring those who came before her, Clark is cementing her.
And you'll never be able to make everyone happy. And someone that knows that at the age of 22, like, let's go.
I mean, I think I have good perspective on that. And like I said in the article, which turned out amazing, I thought it was great. I said, I feel like one of my best skills is just blocking things out. Like, I don't really, the only opinions I really care about are the people that I love, my teammates, my coaches, the people inside of our locker room, the people that I see every single day, and I know have my best interests at heart too.
Own place in basketball history. What could have been a divisive moment has instead become a unifying one, thanks to her grace and leadership. But this story isn't over. Clark's dignified response has sparked a larger conversation about sportsmanship and maturity in basketball. The reactions are pouring in, and they're as dynamic as Clark's three-pointers. Social media is ablaze with fans praising her grace under pressure and...
How would you describe what's next for Caitlin Clark, coming off of a Rookie of the Year, coming off of breaking records? And I mean, there's so much, it seems like there's so much potential. Like, I keep saying you're only 22, but I just wonder how that translates to you, what the future looks like.
Criticizing Swoopes for what they see as pettiness. One fan tweeted, "Clark's response shows she's already a legend in the making. Swoopes could learn a thing or two about sportsmanship. This isn't just a headline-grabbing moment, it's a turning point for women's basketball." Clark's classy comeback is not only winning her fans, but also setting a new standard for how athletes handle criticism. The basketball world is watching, and Clark is proving that leadership, respect, and resilience are the real keys to greatness.